Hello, my ghosties. I'm going to be using an app called Paravox, as you can see. Um, this is quite new to the paranormal community. There are some tutorials on it here on YouTube, but I'm not a tutorial kind of gal. I mostly like to read about it and then try out the tips that I read. And I think it's better if you try to use these devices yourself first you get um, uh, before you watch a tutorial. I think it's best that you go through trial and error, but do a little bit of research, but you don't have to be meticulous about it. Sometimes the best thing are just learned on the job. And this has been with just about everything. That doesn't mean that I don't listen to what people have to say, of course. Absorb what you need, use what you need, and then experiment. Try other methods, because there are always other methods, and unfortunately, tutorials can be very biased as to the fact that it works for that person that's using it. When another person tries to use it, it's like, that didn't work. So here we are. We're gonna turn this on a little bit, and so we're gonna start with 54 sensitivity full, as you can see. So right there, you probably can't see with the glare. So I'm gonna put it right here, as I don't want to interfere with anything. Then you're going to specify who you want to talk to. Okay. Sunny, I would like to speak with you. Can you confirm? You have to give it a minute. See here. Now, normally, right there. So, as you can see right here, we're going to put it right here, like this, so that there's not a lot of interference. When it turns green, that specifically means there's an electrical line. With red, that means you are very close to an electrical line, and that will interfere with anything. So make sure that you look right there. That you look right there and actually, can see that. So, and as you can hear that in the back a little bit. Right there. Okay, so Sunny, can you tell me? Yes. Can you tell me what kind of animal you are? And when it beeps like that, that usually either means an electrical interference, solar flare, water source, different kind of metal, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or it can actually mean that they are confirming. And I would like to think that they are actually confirming. And if you'd like, you can do this. You can say, okay, Sunny, if you're here, do that 2 more times. Activate the device 2 more times for me, please. Make that little sound to confirm you're there. Okay? Once. And see? Twice. That little beep went twice. And that means that she's there. So typically when it lights up like that, it means yes. So say yes, Sunny. See, there you go. It does work. Oh, she agrees. So, Sunny, were you at one time a Great Pyrenees? Gotta wait for them to respond. Was that where you were before? Great Pyrenees? You don't have to be shy. Takes them a little bit because they're in a different dimension. See, right there. So you are a Great Pyrenees. Can you confirm again, please? Confirm again, please. Hey, Sunny, can you confirm again, please? They like to take their time sometimes. Kind of their thing. It's a thing. Confirm one more time. Oh.
Third.
Third. So she's actually saying what she's responding to is, as you can see here, it actually says this. It says third. Kind of see that right there. Is so she's signifying that she has confirmed it 3 times, which she agrees. And another thing is to probably put this someplace there's not a lot of interference. Also, another thing is put it someplace where it's flat. Typically, not all apps need the device to be flat, but this one does. Yeah, it does. And be aware of where you are. Keep in mind when you're in a house, if you ever have false positives, that's quite common. You have a lot of electrical outlets that may interfere with the answers. So if you ever get, let's say that you're speaking with your angelic spirit guides and all of a sudden 666 shows up, don't be alarmed. That's in, she's saying yes. Don't be alarmed. It's not a bad thing. That is a false positive. That's brought on by uh, the electrical output that's around you.
Friend.
Friend. Yes, I am your friend, aren't I, Sunny? You're my friend? So I found Sunny in a graveyard, actually. Um, Kind of a weird place to find. It's not really a weird place to find any spirit because it's a graveyard. Um, yeah. So I actually got to name her. She wanted me to name her, and I named her Sunny. So she said third, which was signifying to what I was saying earlier. Remember, I said for her to confirm once and then 2 more times. So she's saying the third. And then friend, meaning, she is a Shamira, or, a Shamira that protects me. And she's confirming it yet again. So that's cool. Okay, and sometimes, when you ask specific questions, like you say, "What's in my hand?" Hey, Sunny, what's in my hand? Can you tell me in the word bank, please? What's inside the container? She knows what it is. That's what she's confirming it. Yep. She's doing it 3 times instinctively. Do you hear that? She's instinctively doing it 3 times. The beep was like 3 times. So now she's getting used to it. She's getting used to using this device. And when sometimes there were sessions where nothing would happen, you know, I would be sitting there, it doesn't matter where the phone was, there wouldn't be that connection. Now there is a connection, and that's what happens when you form a rapport with the spirits that are with you. So sometimes the words that will come out will tell you of what is in the what is around them. So, for instance, I think there was a spirit that was in my closet that started explain. Yeah, I know you know about this. And they were describing everything that I mean everything. Things that I did I would not advertise that are in my closet. You know, uh, things that I didn't even think about were in my closet. I was just like, wait, is that in my closet? Oh yeah, that's where my teddy bear is. There's not a teddy bear in there, but just books in my closet mostly, but that's just me, so. But yeah, if they will often start like saying what's in the room, certain objects, for instance. But when you just on the spot say, "Hey, what's this?" They're probably not going to do that, and it's really easy to get impatient sometimes. Be really impatient. Hey, Sunny, are you okay with being recorded while this session is going on? Is that okay? You okay with that? Yeah? You okay doing this for YouTube? Being recorded. They can't see you. You okay with that? Yeah? Yeah?
Draw.
Draw. I think what she's talking about is draw, like to draw water. Like she's describing that. Is that what you're saying? Draw water? Yeah. See, sometimes it'll be like an associative word thing where, you know, you'll say one thing and it will actually mean something else. So try to, if you have a dictionary on hand, if you have dictionary.com or Merriam-Webster, look up some alternative words, because quite possibly, like for instance, one time something showed up and it said Illuminati, and it was a word play. When I thought Illuminati, I thought of a pyramid, and I actually had a little piece of tiger's eye that was in the shape of a pyramid. So sometimes when they say one thing, they're actually trying to give you a little hint of what they're trying to say, because sometimes the word that they want to describe is just not available to them. It's not there. So they have to be creative and think. And sometimes it will be like deciphering a code. Sometimes it will be like solving a riddle, if they're really clever. I had one once that actually made me work for it. I had to play 20 questions, I had my diviner's rods, I had everything. Turned out her name was Olivia. Uh, Olivia is an American Staffordshire Terrier, which American Staffordshire Terriers are often mistaken for pit bulls. They are, in fact, not. They are um, if you don't know, pit bull is not really a purebred anything. It is a mix of many different dogs, and so there are many different dogs that look like an American Staffordshire Terrier. I love anything that resembles a pit bull, even though I know it is not a pit bull. But I have nothing against dogs, which is me as a person. I'm drawn. Animals are drawn to me. Isn't that right, Sunny? Yeah. Are animals drawn to me? Animal spirits? Would you say that? Would you say that animals are drawn to me? Another thing is don't
tone,
tone. What about my tone, Sunny? Can you describe? Can you elaborate? Get them to elaborate. If you can get them to elaborate as much as possible, do that. Get them and be patient when you're waiting for answers, because they are spirits. They have a separate life from you. They have other things that they need to do, and talking to you might not necessarily be one of them unless they are, you know, assigned to you, or they have assigned themselves to you to help you and to guide you. So don't be surprised if they are not catering to your needs. Uh, Not all of them are going to do that. Your own spirit guides are going to do whatever they can to help you, because that is that is what they that is their purpose. Not But keep in mind, it's not just their purpose to do that. They are spirits. They do have probably other things that they have to do during the day, during the night. They don't sleep. They don't know everything. Spirits don't know everything, do they? Like angels and demons, they don't know everything, right? Right. They don't all know everything. They have the infinite capacity to learn. So unless they've extensively studied something, they're probably not going to know everything about you, unless some other spirit has told them, which probably highly unlikely. I don't see really like an angel going up to a demon and saying, "Hey, so and so did this, blah 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 blah." Most likely, one spirit will communicate to another, and their communication is probably beyond our comprehension, and they will sometimes pass on information. But as far as your whole life story, some of them, they would have to have been assigned or assigned themselves to you to know that. And they cannot read your mind. Uh, uh, and most spirits don't want to harm you. That's not their agenda. They have other agendas, and they really physically don't want to harm you in any way. So, uh, because often, yeah, it's they don't want to harm you most of the time, because it's actually, uh, to be honest, it takes up too much energy to have to try to scare you, to move things, to interact with your environment. In fact, that's why a lot of times where spirits will just want to be left alone. They don't want to talk to you. Okay, Sunny, can you describe what you meant by tone? What's a tone? What are you talking about? What tone? What tone are you talking about right now? Give me another word. Do you mean volume? What does a tone mean? Okay, well, what about volume? What about volume? Hmm? What about volume? Can you tell me more about that? Tell me more. Tell me more about your volume. Or my volume. Just waiting. Okay, and also, keep in mind when you're talking to a spirit, just say, hey, I have, just take your time, whatever you need to do, just take your time, that kind of thing, so that, you're not going there. Also, make sure that you have the time. Don't be like, don't be like, okay, I got only this much time to do this. Okay, guys, only this much time, and this is all. Yeah, don't do that. Take out time in your day to do what needs to be done. Water. Don't worry, it's nothing scary. It's water. Okay, what about volume, Sunny? Tell me more about that. Interact with the spirit box, please. Or this word bank. Maybe you could elaborate, give us another hint of what you're talking about when you say volume. You meant tone, so I'm taking it as a volume. What is the significance of the volume? Just let them wait. It's kind of like they need to find the word. So don't expect them to like interact like right away. She's activating it, so that means that she's working. She's working at the word she wants to give me. And she wants to find the right one, just the right one. And that may take her a little bit of time because she has to access my phone, she has to look through the words herself. She's got a doom scroll.
Open.
Open.
East.
Open. Well, open east would mean on my right. Is that, are you talking about on my right or right in front of me? At my right? You're talking about that? Are you on my right side? Right here? Yes. Okay. So east, meaning, automatically though, I mean the sun is, the sun's up there, and that would be east. But the way that she's thinking is she's thinking left and right, in autonomy with where I am right now. So, for instance, this would be, my west side, and this would be my east. So she's thinking of that in terms of where I am in space, rather than, um, uh, yeah, she's agreeing, rather than actual. Um, what she's trying to do is she's catering to what would make sense to me. So she's saying that she's in the open space that's next to me on the right. That's what she's trying to say. So instead of being like, well, this would be right here, she could very well be in front of me, but I have a feeling that she's right here on the right. Um, uh, so that's what I think she's trying to say. Open would mean like she's in that space. That space is open. Um, she is over there. Um, you have to actually like stretch out the meaning of a word sometimes in order to interpret it, and it's not going to be a full sentence like you would get from a spirit board or that kind of thing. You're going to find that, yeah, there are certain things that just you need to use your brain to figure out. So she's just saying that typically that she's right there. So um, and so the difference between her and maybe say like just some random demonic entity that I come across in a haunted location, she's going to actually try to say things that are going to be relevant to me, that are going to make sense to me, rather than, hey, let's mess around and kind of goof off and not give you an answer. It's more of like, hey, what would make sense to Kelsey today? What would make sense to her? So, um, you notice the attitude and the willingness of certain spirits. Like some spirits will be more than will be kind of timid at first. They won't talk to you. I've actually seen one app where she was like very, very timid. She said she was timid. And I thought, I was a little bit confused because I didn't know, because there were several entities that were down there. And I wanted to talk to a specific one, but as usual, the spirits had other ideas. And often that is the case, since spirits do communicate with one another, and when they are all in one space, it's quite possible that they're gonna interject and come in because they want to talk. And maybe they don't know that you're having a session. They walk in and they're like, "Hey, it's you. I know you. Let me talk to you." And so they end up talking over each other. And I've specifically said, yeah, please don't talk over each other. Some comes out as garbly gibberish. But as you can hear, she's kind of agreeing with things. You can hear that. Bleep. There it goes again. And as I said before, don't be alarmed if you get an answer that just doesn't make sense with the rest of, if you're talking to a benevolent entity and all of a sudden it says something really bizarre. Um, there are a lot of things that can interfere with your 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 with the this word bank, and also there's certain word banks. As you know, if you the word bank thing is a bit like if you it's like me chat, okay? You only have a series of responses that you can have. Sometimes there's 1,000 of them that you can choose from, but if you imagine if you only had 1,000 words in which to communicate with, it would be kind of difficult because you couldn't say things like, maybe in a full sentence. You would have to say certain things like, you know, Illuminati, mirror, share. You'd have to say certain things like that. And it's a very primitive way of communicating, but it's also can be very effective, especially if you are forming a bond with an entity. And make sure, because when you put a device in front of a entity that has never really encountered that device, they're not they're not going to give you a lot of responses. That's just part of it. The only reason she is very responsive is because I know her. She is my Shamira. I found her at a graveyard. I have named her. She is a spirit protector and a spirit guide to me. So she knows who I am. She likes me. I like her. We have a friendship. We love one another. It's not, we don't, um, but with just an ordinary spirit, ordinary, just a spirit that you go and see and talk to on, like, outside of your spirit guides, um, they're going to be a little bit more reluctant because they maybe uh, they've not used that kind of technology, and not very many people have given it to them, and it's a little bit daunting. I mean, if somebody gave you a device, put it in front of you and said, "Here, figure it out," that's demanding a lot from a spirit. So, before you do that, explain what you're doing, and afterwards thank them for helping them do that. Tell them that it's like an interview. Try to make yourself as as chill and relatable and as down to earth as you possibly can. Don't come in there expecting results. Don't have that attitude of that you're in charge, because you are not in charge, because you are in their territory. You are in their, if that is a place where they regularly go, that is their home, that is their residency. And some of these spirits have been here before we were even born, and possibly even at you know, the beginning of time itself, maybe before the universe was created. We don't know. But give them some respect, and make sure that you leave little gifts behind if you can, to kind of show your appreciation, because if you don't, um, believe me, you do not want an angry spirit after you. Um, do everything possible to be as civil, polite, respectful, and kind and compassionate as you can, even if it is indeed a darker entity going into the, if it's on the darker spectrum, uh, still give them respect. They were there before you. You cannot expect to go to someone's home and just communicate with that person and set up whatever you want. You can't go into someone's home and uh, start, setting up a camera and filming everyone. That's just not done in normal society. Uh, you'd be arrested. Okay, so I don't know, see why people think that's okay to go to a location that they've never been to before and get equipment that the entities aren't even familiar with, and then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, there you go. No, that's not okay. You need permission. You need to make sure. You need to have confirmation. Get them to confirm at least 3 times if they can. Get them to confirm whatever it is that they need before you set up. Tell them ahead of time. Is it okay? Ask ahead of time. Is it okay if I bring camera with me? Is it okay if I record the sessions? Um, if, as I said, there is no reason, um, even a demon doesn't really have like a big incentive to lie to you, especially if you come to them with good energy and do that. A demon is not going to want to possess you because that takes a lot of work, that takes a lot of time, and that means they would have to spend more time lying to you than they would have to actually tell you the truth. And I'm going to say, telling a story and lying about things is exhausting. So they may not want to confront you. And all you need is calm, assertive energy. That's all you need. If you are assertive without being aggressive, for instance, if a entity touches you, tell them as if that was a person. Just say, you are touching me, I feel it. You touch my shoulder, you are touching my head. Sometimes I've had entities that are actually trying to slap me and hit me and just go like this to my face. I had one that did this to my face. I was not harmed, but I felt it, and it just kind of felt like wind brushing my face, and I said, I don't care who you are, I don't care what you are, you do not touch my face. And I looked at my radar, and that entity had disappeared.
Laugh.
Laugh. Do you think that's funny, Sunny? Is that what you're doing? You're laughing about this? See, I'm telling a story, and Sunny's actually laughing. She's like, I'm laughing. Laugh. She's like, yes, yes, she thinks that's funny. She thinks that's funny, apparently, because I scared a demon away. I don't know. I was just assertive. I was just like, nobody touches my face. I don't care who you are or what you are. Nobody touches my face. Okay, that's personal. And immediately after that, that entity and the rest of the entities respected me. They were not interested. There's been a couple of times where one of them, would try like sometimes I would feel, uh, I would kind of close my eyes and subconsciously tune in, and I'd be like, why are you hitting me? There's no reason to be violent, okay? First of all, um, and also another thing is when a spirit hits you, you're not automatically like gonna get a bruise or a scratch or that kind of thing. That's only in some, in like cases where they're very very angry, um, like super angry, like they want to hurt you. That is dangerous. If that's in the case, please get away from there. But from the entities that I've experienced, it's more of like they are just trying to irritate me. So if you have like an entity that's smacking you around or doing things, um, uh, you might not necessarily feel it. You're gonna feel a little something like it's gonna feel like a little breeze hit you, but you're not gonna feel like you're not going to feel like an actual physical, it's more of an emotional response that you're getting from it. So keep in mind that many demons look for reactions, and if you are not reacting, they sometimes will lose interest because a lot of darker entities, they feed upon negative energies, as you know, and if you are not giving them that kind of entity, that can either be, they will either just lose interest or they won't talk to you. They might just ignore you, who knows. But also, if you don't have fear and you're just sitting there very casually and just saying, so, you possess someone? Do you have any desire to do that again? And I've had entities that are just very surprised about how direct and how um, just upfront I am with them. I just tell them what's going on. I tell them, I'll get a little nervous and then I'll think, well, that's creepy. Tell me more. that's that's spooky. Tell me more, please. I'd love to talk more about this. And they're just like, why are you? I just said that I possessed people. Well, you're talking to me now. You haven't possessed me yet, so I have a feeling that you don't have any desire to do that. And so if you do that, I'm just gonna say it's okay to have anxiety. It's okay to be a little bit fearful, but don't. If you are in a fight or flight response, get out of there. Get out of there. That is puts you in a vulnerable position because everything you see and hear is going to be a threat to you. And when you do that, that just means fit. That is for a demon. That is an invitation. Do not do that. Don't go to a place knowing that you're going to frickin' pee your pants. Okay, don't put yourself in danger just to prove a point or to for the sake of research. You should not be in a situation where you are in danger, whether physically, emotionally, or mentally. Do not. Best things to do is just to relax. Relax. Act like you are not talking to a demon. Act like you are talking to a really creepy neighbor. Okay? A neighbor, a reclusive, creepy neighbor. Okay? That nobody knows about. And it's just, this is an exclusive interview.
Suit.
Suit, meaning that suits the situation. Suit, meaning that can mean two things. Suit, for instance, a suit of cards, a set, or suit. That suits the situation. That's what she's saying. That's suitable. That is appropriate. That is a good thing. That's what she's saying. Sunny is, right? That suits the situation. It suits the situation. That's what you should do. At least that's what I think. But anyway, that's all for today. We have this has already gone on long enough. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall be uploading more hopefully in the future.